everyone. I am so happy to be here today. Oh, clicker, awesome, even better. I have, over the last few years, had the pleasure and privilege of getting to work on the guts of APP, along with many of my excellent colleagues from the data science team, including and especially the machine learning parts. So, can we all just agree to start that machine learning is a total buzzword? Like, it's practically in the water. It's every single place you hear, and its friend, its cousin, artificial intelligence or AI. And it can be kind of hard to know what people are even talking about when they throw these terms around, although I did find this tweet clarifying. So that's very helpful, right? That clears it all right up. No, just kidding. I mean, so serious practitioners do find distinctions between these terms, and I feel like I should give you a serious definition here. Artificial intelligence is this vast array of different techniques, logic, rule-based, et cetera, that solve problems in ways that at least superficially resemble thinking. OK, fine. And then within that, you've got machine learning, which is a toolbox of mathematical techniques that enable computers to improve at performing tasks with experience. Right? Clears that right up. OK. Well, no. In all seriousness, nobody really doubts that these are powerful, powerful tools. And in fact, some influential folks have even begun to say that machine learning, artificial intelligence, is like the electricity of the 21st century, which is a pretty powerful statement. But it's plausible to think that AI, machine learning, could one by one transform every single industry as we know them, the way that electricity did in the 20th century, right? But if you accept that, then me saying, hey, our product runs on machine learning is an awful lot like me saying, our product runs on electricity. Like, great, but what does it do? That doesn't answer any questions, right? OK. Well, machine learning by itself isn't the important thing. It's the problems it solves and the opportunities it unlocks, just like electricity. So what problems does it solve in APP, the AppNexus programmable platform? Well, you heard some of these features and functionality earlier from the team. Broadly, we taxonomize these and talk about them as 4 high-level pillars of successful performance buying. So you've got allocation. How do traders want to allocate their budget to different pools of inventory? How do they want to value each impression? Like, what's the predicted expected value of that impression for the advertiser? How then do you want to bid based on the auction dynamics, first price, second price, any kind of margin constraints, et cetera, pacing? And finally, which creative do you want to serve? Right? OK. But in order to really explain or give you a sense of how machine learning powers the AppNexus programmable platform, I think rather than digging into the specific features and functionality here, I'd rather try to convince you that the way that machine learning powers APP is exactly, or at least akin to, the core awesomeness of Microsoft Excel. All right. Now, how many people in the audience have used Microsoft Excel? I feel like I should see every single hand. How many of you would you consider yourselves power users, like use macros and stuff? OK, that's a fair number. Well, as it turns out, I have very personal, everyone has personal experience with Excel. I have very personal experience with Microsoft Excel because my first job right out of college as a freshly minted math major was at Microsoft as a software tester, testing none other than Microsoft Excel, owning the built-in Spreadsheet Functions and calc engine, which is a pretty cool job. But when I started, I actually didn't know anything about the program. I used it like once in college. And so the first thing, as I got to know the program, was its interface, its grid interface. It's easy to use interface where you can put in any text, any numbers that you like. You can format it. This is conditional formatting, right? And you can create really cool visualizations on top of it. So very easy to jump in and just start manipulating data, text, whatever, organizing your workflow. I was like, cool, this is great. But my job as a tester was to explore the product more fully than that. And so as I went along, I learned about its back end. So how many people are aware that you've got a visual basic back end to Excel where you can write macros and stuff? Yeah, OK. I figured this audience would have some folks that did that. Well, when I discovered that, now remember, I was a freshly minted math major. So I had my head still full of things like calculus and limits and fractals. So what are fractals? Fractals are these cool geometric figures that have complex patterns that reoccur at smaller and smaller scales so that you can zoom in like infinitely far and still see that complexity. Pretty cool, right? Why am I telling you this? All right, when I got a hold of that back end of Excel, I was like, this is awesome. Let's make fractals in Excel. And I actually dug out my old file, and this is it. Every single pixel in that thing there is a cell. I size it down to like 1 pixel wide and 1 pixel high and use VBA to write some code to actually generate the Mandelbrot set there in Microsoft Excel. Even made it zoomable. It had a zoom button. You could select a range of cells and zoom in. It would create a new tab in the workbook, like redo the whole thing until you could even make more and more tabs zooming in and in until Excel ran out of memory and the whole thing crashed. So I was still doing my job as a tester, right? Because then I'd write a bug about the crash. All right, so cool, right? But that's not why people love Excel. People love Excel not just because of its easy-to-use grid interface, not just because you can program fractals in it using Visual Basic. I would argue that the thing that makes Excel so powerful is all about formulas and functions, right? That's the cool thing. That you can take any idea you have, any connection between your data and your text, any inspiration, any insight, and you can throw it into Excel in formulas that connect it all and put it all together. And what powers that are the built-in spreadsheet functions. So if you think about it, you want to just add up a row of columns, you want to throw in an average, you want to do a standard deviation, you don't go to Visual Basic on the back end and write your own function that you then call. They're just available there for you in the product for you to use, right? Incredibly powerful. And I would argue that this is why we all know and love Excel. It's that customizable, easy to use, ultimately kind of programmable middle layer. Now, AppNexus Programmable Platform is not a spreadsheet product. And it doesn't have a grid interface, but it does have an easy-to-use, streamlined workflow interface on the front end. And it does have a really powerful backend, programmable backend, the AppNexus Programmable Bidder, not unlike VB, right? But what makes it powerful and why I think traders are going to love it is because of that customizable middle layer, just like the built-in spreadsheet functions of Excel, that harness the machine learning from the back end in that easy-to-use manner to solve your problems your way, the way you want, in a powerful fashion.